Hey guys, welcome back. In this tutorial, we are gonna model this cool looking sports car from the 50s. I know this car is overly simplified, but the process of modeling this car is gonna be the same as that of modeling more complex cars. So you can use this tutorial as an intro to car modeling in general. Also, I will provide image planes in the description so you can follow me along. And this is the result. I am quite happy with the result. Let me show you the wireframes. Okay, I think that's enough for the intro. Now let's get into the tutorial. Let's set up the image planes. I'm going to click on my middle mouse, go to the front view, hit Shift and V, back, click on that icon and select the front one because we are in the front view. I'm going to up the transparency, then the right view. This time I will select the side one and the last one is the top view. All right, nice, but there is one thing missing and it is the orientation of this top image plane. So as a reference, I will add in a cube and I'm gonna scale that up so that the car could fit in that box. Now I will make this cube editable, hit C and grab that polygon in front of the car. Now I will go to the top view, hit Shift and V, and by knowing where this car is facing, I can rotate my top image plane correctly. So I need to rotate this minus 90 degrees. Perfect. I can delete that cube. Now I will make some changes to my viewport. Let's turn off that plane. And I will also switch to the model layout so that we are going to have a little bit more space. Okay, now we are ready to get into modeling. I will start with a disk. Then I will go to the right view. I'm going to change its orientation and move these over here. This is a kind of traditional way to start car modeling. I am sure you have seen this before, so I will do the same. After positioning that, I'm gonna bring down the rotation segments because 16 is too much. I want to keep my mesh as low poly as possible. We need to stay away from high poly mesh until we need details. So 8 is gonna be great for us. I will make it editable, hit C. Then let's drop this one into a sub D, Alt down Alt, select these. As you can see, after adding that subdivision surface, my object became slightly smaller. So I'm gonna scale that up just a little bit. Okay, now let's make this editable. Then grab these points, delete them. Then I'm gonna add that loop right here. Then delete that point. Perfect. Now I'm gonna select all the points and bring them out so the origin stays in the center of the world. Let's go to the top view, move these over here. We can go into model mode, hold down control and drag these off. I'm gonna combine these two, connect objects and delete. Now let's go into points mode. I will select these and I will basically try to mesh these as much as possible. It's gonna be quite easy since we have a low poly mesh. So select the points, move them around. Yeah, something like that is looking fine. Obviously, we need to keep an eye on the other panels. Like whenever you move something, it's quite important to check these views as well. For example, front view. The right view is looking fine. Maybe I can move them inward. Okay, now I will go into model mode and add a null into my scene because I will add in a symmetry object. By having that null, which will be right in the middle of the world, it's going to be quite easy to work with symmetries because I can put multiple objects under that null. Let's do that. I'm going to put that disk under that null. Then I'm going to put that null under a symmetry object. I don't think we need to see the planes. Other than that, we can enable belts. Now I'm gonna put that subdivision up to the top, then put the symmetry under that one. Okay, let's go back into the points mode. Actually, let's go into edge mode and select these three edges. Hold down Control, move them up. Then I will go into points mode because it's quite easier to adjust these in points mode with the rectangle selection tool. If you hit 0 on the keyboard, you are gonna get that tool. Okay, as I said, whenever I move something, I need to check out other panels. So let's go back to the edge mode. Let's move them over here. Our front view is looking fine. So I can make another extrusion. Actually, before doing that, as you can see, I position these points slightly off the car in the image plane. I do that because, as you saw before, after enabling subdivision surface, my object will become slightly smaller. That's basically why. So let's go back to the edge mode, hold down Control, extrude them on the X. Then I will go back to points mode to adjust these points. Let's first try to focus on the top view. So we have an edge flow going on here, and that edge flow should be going with the curve of the car. So that's why I moved these points like that. Then after moving these points, I'm gonna check the front view. As you can see, we need to move these down here. Then I'm gonna hold down Control and extrude these on the X. I need to line these edges up. So I will come over here, set this to world, and these are facing X. So I need to zero out X position and X size to 0. Perfect. Now let's go into points mode, adjust these points. Front view is looking fine. Now let me grab these edges, hold down Control, drag these down. Then to connect these points, I will use polygon pen tool. Connect these points, and yeah, something like that. Oh, that's why it's quite important to check every panel every time. So these are supposed to be somewhere here. Let's flatten these out by scaling these down. Okay, I will come back to adjust these points, but for the moment we are looking fine. Now let's spend some time here. I will do the same basically. Grab these three edges, hold down Control, move them up, going to points mode, and move them around. Then check the other panels, like this is supposed to be here, these edges. Then after doing that, I will need another extrusion. Again, I have a curve over here, so my edge flow should be going with the curve of the car. So something like that is going to be enough. Uh, since we have a shadow here, which means that I need to move this down slightly. Then let's move this here. I'm going to make another extrusion. We can scale this slightly, then move these up, going to points mode. Yeah, something like that. Let's make the final extrusion. Hold down Control to line this up. You know what to do. Come over here and zero out these. Then move them up. You don't always have to, move these points. I can rotate these like that, then going to points mode. Okay, let's check the top view. Now the front one. Yeah, these are way off, so I need to move them over here. Then it's always important to check the 3D view as well. Okay, looking fine. Now we need to, close that gap here. So I will first, let me see. I'm gonna hold down Control. Actually, let's fix the axis. So I'm gonna right click on one of these and set this to world. Hold down Control. I need to line this up on the X. So zero these out, then polygon pen tool and connect these points. Nice. We have a quad here. Now I can select these two, hold down Control, polygon pen tool, and connect these points. Now we need to adjust these points. Let's go to the right view first and move these points. Since we should have a good curve over here, we need to be really careful about the distance between these points or edges. Okay, now let's link these edges up. It's gonna be quite easy. Just select these three edges on both sides. Then hold down, sorry, first let's grab the stitch and sieve tool, hold down shift and connect these matching points. Nice. That edge is looking off, so I'm gonna move these up, yeah, somewhere here. Or sometimes I select the polygons to highlight them and check them in, for instance, in the front view. So that view tells me that I need to move that edge down. Yeah, something like that. I can move these up. Okay, now if I select that edge or this one, I need to move this on the X, but if I do that, I'm gonna lose that detail, these edges. So I need to add some loop cuts, Alt and Shift, add this one in, then set this to 2. Then I'm gonna slide this over here and this one somewhere here. Now I can select that polygon. First, let's flatten it out by scaling that polygon to 0%. Then I'm gonna move this here somewhere. Yeah, exactly. You can also line these points up, Alt and Shift, and scale them to 0. Now let's spend some time in this view. So that point is supposed to be here. Then this one here, which means that I need to move that edge down. Okay, now let's go to the front view. We need to extrude that edge. Let's connect these points with the polygon pen tool. Then to move that point to the word center, I will just come over here and type in 0. I can go back to the polygon pen tool and move that point here. Okay, nice. It's coming together quite nicely. Of course, to be sure, we need to first enable subdivision surface, but first I am trying to build up the basic shape. Speaking of that, as you can see, I have a curve here. So my edge flow again should be going with the curve of the car, which means that I will need an edge between these points. So let's do that quickly. I'm going to add that edge with the polygon pen tool, but this is going to give us two triangles. So we need to find a way to get rid of these ones. And I can add that edge in, then add these, Alt and Control, get rid of this one. Now we have that triangle. We can do the same, then get rid of that. I'm going to go back to the top view, move these around. Actually, let's use equal spacing tool to even these edges out. Yeah, then I can go back to the top view. I can select these polygons. I'm gonna check them. I think I can select these three. Then I can maybe rotate them just a little bit, not too much. And I can bring these down. I can check the flow in the right view as well. I think I can deselect these and move them up. Our basic setup is done. Now we need to enable subdivision surface and adjust these points further. So let's go to the front view. As you can see, I need to move these points somewhere around here, then this one here, and these guys somewhere here. Okay, then that point should be somewhere here. Now let's go to the top view. I think I need to move that point slightly off to maintain a good curve here. As I said, the distance between these points is quite important. We need to keep them as similar as possible. Okay, top view is looking quite nice actually, much better than I expected. Now let's see what's going on in the front view. Yeah, I think I need to select these, move them inward. Then that point, yeah, should be here. Then that one. I don't have any information about that part of the car because this is showing me the front part of the car. So I assume it is supposed to be somewhere here. I don't know. And also, I need to find that point and move it down. Actually, not that one, the one in the back. So let's enable this back. Yeah, move that down. I'm gonna move that point here and this one here. Yeah, now it's looking much better. Actually, let's hit NNB. By the way, this is not gonna be my final resolution. So I'm gonna set this to 1 because 2 is gonna be too much unnecessary. As I said, we need to stay away from iPoly until we need details. So 1 is gonna be the perfect number for us. Let's continue adjusting these points. Okay, now I want to add these loop cuts to get these frames. So as you can see, that edge loop cut tool is not gonna give me the cut that I expect because of that pole. So in this kind of situations, I like to select these edges and clone these off. Button control. Then to connect these points, I can use polygon tool as usual. Then same here, clone these off and these ones. Polygon pen tool. That point is looking fierce, you know. Sometimes we need to be careful if something is looking odd when the object is not subdivided. So something like that will be better. Okay, now I think we got the exterior quite nicely. Now let's spend some time here. I'm gonna select all these edges, then hold down Control, extrude them across, then we need to line this up as usual. So then I will grab the cut tool at that loop in polygon pen tool, hold down control, finish these edges. Nice. After doing that, I can get rid of these polygons so that I can bridge these edges and use close polygon tool. Same here. Get rid of these by holding control while you are using the polygon pen tool. Hold down control, close polygon tool. I'm gonna grab back this tool because I need to add these edges in because we want quads. Then connect this, and here we go. That was a quick one. And now the next stage is going to be about hardening some of these edges, and also I will be checking the flow of some of these edges. Actually, let's do that real quick. So what I'm going to do is pretty easy. I'm going to select, for example, that edge loop. Then I'm going to go to the top view and check the flow of these edges. If I see something odd or off, I'm going to try to fix it. For example, I don't see anything weird here, so I can skip that one, then go to the right view. In this one, for example, I may move that point down just to get a little bit better curve, flow. Maybe move that up. Then, yeah, that point is giving some problems to us, so I don't know, something like that should be much better. And maybe that point should be here. Yeah, then here. Yeah, that part is looking quite fine. Then the front view. Hmm, not that bad actually. That point, let me see it, where is that? So if I move it like that, is it gonna make it better? Let's select that edge loop again. Yeah, just a little bit. I don't know. Okay, that one is looking fine. We can double click on this one. And the same approach. Then this one. Top view. I mean, not that bad, maybe. I can slightly move that point, go back to the edge mode, and that point could be somewhere here. Okay, now I want to check these edges, not these. Yeah, not that bad. I can, by the way, flatten out these polygons by holding Shift and rotate them slightly. Okay, I think it is time to make some edges sharper because we need a flow going with the curve over here. So if I enable sub D, I lose that tightness on these edges. So I need to tighten these edges up. We have two options. The first one, as you know, is adding loop cuts. But if I do that, let me clone these off. If I do that and enable subdivision surface, I will add unnecessary polygons to my mesh. We do not overcomplicate our mesh. So instead of doing that, I will use weights. So select these edges back and use weight tool instead of loop cuts. Let's enable sub D and weight these edges up. Nice. Just to make it a little bit easier to see, I'm gonna lower the flowing angle down. Yeah, now you can see what's going on. But I don't think we need to sharpen that edge, because we are losing that curve over here. So I'm gonna select that edge along with this one. Sometimes it is not possible or quite hard to see where the weights are, so you can click on the weights. So as I was saying, I need to remove these so that we are going to get a much better curve. And it's quite easy to do. Select these edges back, use substitute tool, but this time move the mouse to the left. Nice. And I'm not sure about that one. Let's keep it. Okay, now let's try to select these edges. I don't think I need to select these. So I will just select these. Okay, let's enable sub again and use that weight tool. Weight these edges all the way up. I think I need to select this one as well. And this one. Let's weight these up. It is still not too late to make further adjustments. If you don't like some parts, you can always select these points and, move them around. Well, we have an empty point here. Let's just delete it. But I'm not sure about that weight. Let's remove it and see what's going to happen. Yeah, that is looking a little bit better, I guess, because we are going to get a good curve here. And what about that edge? Hmm, okay, let's skip this one. All right, I think it is time to make this sub editable. But before making this editable, I will make a duplicate of this sub D. So I will keep this one as a backup. Then I will hit C on this one and put this object out of that group and remove that weight. Now I'm gonna go back to edge mode and select these edges. Or let me see if long break selection is gonna give me the edges that I expect. No, so unfortunately I need to select these by hand. Okay, now I should be able to make a full selection. UNF, then split these out. UNP, go back to the original one and delete these. I'm gonna hide this for the moment. Then grab these edges back. Actually, uh, I don't want to select these, so I will use boundary selection, I guess. It might work. Here, outline selection. Then I will use extrude tool, extrude these in. Then I will make a loop selection to select these edges. Slide tool, hold down control, clone these off. Select this back and another loop cuts. By the way, let's put these two objects under a sub D. First, I need to group them, then hold down Alt, sub D. Let's bring the falling angles up of these two objects. Okay, looking fine. Now I need to do the same on that mesh. So these are supposed to be selected already. So all I need to do is extrude these in. Now, as I did before, I'm gonna grab these edges, hold down Control and extrude, clone these. Again, I am doing this to make the edges sharper. All right, looking fine. Let's unhide the first one. Perfect. But we are not done yet. I'm gonna show you another thing to manipulate your mesh, even though it is subdivided. So I will go into points mode, deselect everything, click away, then grab brush tool, make it a little bit larger, then go to the top view, for example. You can still make some adjustments. I will enable symmetry hub. Uh, the X one should be enabled. So I will just, adjust these. Okay, now let's go to the right view. So it is never late to make adjustments. Our mesh is still relatively low. To make small adjustments, you can make the brush smaller. Okay, now let's check the front. Okay. Well, that part is looking weird. I don't know if it's coming true. I'm gonna hit NNB, turn this off. Yeah, we we are getting that bad looking shading because of that pole. We need to carry this pole off the edge of the sharp edge, basically. So we can do that by selecting these edges. By the way, we have the same here. Now I will just grab select tool, hold down Control and clone these off. Now I will grab polygon pen tool and connect these points. Okay, so we basically carried that point which created that perfect polygon loop. So establishing this kind of perfect loops around the detail is quite important. If I enable sub D, it's gonna look normal, nice. Then let's extrude these in. By the way, let me turn off the symmetry hub. Sometimes it is buggy, I don't know why. So let's turn this off and I will let that loop cut in. Nice. Then I will need to split up some polygons like these ones. U and P. Then I will hit D to extrude them in. I will enable create caps. Yeah, something like that. Let's enable sub D. All right, not that bad. Now we need to build up the interior. To do that, I can make a loop selection again, split these up. I can select that loop, slide these towards the inside. Then I will solo it, select the boundary. Actually, let's do that step by step. Let me hold down Control and select these. Actually, I'm going to deselect these as well. Hold down Control, extrude them out. Then I will select these edges. By the way, I can enable symmetry hub. Hold down Control, bring this down, then these edges. I need to connect these points, so select them and add them. Then for this part, I can select these, Alt and Control. Then I will scale them to 0. By the way, remember to save your files. So I will do that real quick. Okay, let's flatten out these edges. Then let's turn off symmetry hub. I will use polygon pen tool to bridge these edges as usual. Then let's try to use close polygon hole tool. I will select patch one. This is not gonna work because we need to give something like adding these edges in. I'm gonna set this to 3 and use that tool again. Let's try to rotate this around. didn't work. So okay, these settings are looking fine except for that point. So let me connect these. I'm gonna get rid of these ones. So that tool should work fine here. No. So I will just use the basic one. Then I will grab polygon pen tool and connect these points manually. Something is not right here. Yeah, because we have these empty points. Delete them. Okay, nice. Let's give it some thickness to these polygons. So I will select them all, extrude tool, but this time I will turn off caps option. So I will need something like that. Yeah. I don't want to see through, so we can select these and scale them up basically. Yeah. Now let's try to model the tires. These are gonna be quite easy. Just we need some cylinders. I'm gonna put this one here, make it larger, and I will hit 4. By the way, I assigned some shortcuts to my component selections. Like if I hit 1 on the keyboard, I will be in points mode. If I hit 2, I will be in edge mode. If I hit 3, I will be in polygon mode. And if I hit 4, I will be in model mode. Assigning these shortcuts will make your workflow quite faster, and doing this is quite easy. All you need to do is come over here, customization, command manager. For instance, we can type in points and we can find points mode. Then just assign 1 and then click on assign. That's it. Okay, let's get back to the tire. I will make this one larger. Then I will lower that down to 3 so that I can make editable and easily grab these and scale them out to make the tire rounder. Then I will select these polygons, make an inset on control. Actually, I quite don't remember how I modeled that section. Mm, I believe it was something like that. I don't know. I will make another inset, move these in. I will do another one, move these out. And actually, let do that twice so that I will able to use these as supporting edges. You know. Okay, then I will split these polygons out. UNP. I will make an inset, then delete these polygons because I want a quad topology here. Close polygonal tool. Let's select. Let me hit Ctrl Z and do it one more time because I will need to select the patch mode. I'm gonna reset these settings. Okay, this is much better. Now I will select that point, enable soft selection, and I'm gonna change this to DOM because it's gonna be a softer result. And I will bring that down to something like 50. Okay, let's go to the top view. And basically I will move that point out. Okay, let's turn this off. Soft selection. Then I will select all these polygons, scale them down, then extrude these edges. Another one by holding Control, but this time I just scaled them in. Then some loop cuts as usual, move them in. Then I'm gonna select this one. Let's put this one under our subdivision surface group, but I will need to group them so that I can duplicate this around the tires. Tire, enable sub D. I'm gonna select these and add these loops. By the way, don't need that point. I will just delete it because it's not that part is not gonna be visible. And I will grab back the loop cut tool and add these edges in. Yeah, something like that. I can select these, grow up my selection, move these out. Then the other thing I want to do is clone these 2 times so that I can select these edges and move them on the X. Then I can select these, scale these in, hit Q. Yeah, something like that. Okay, the tire is done, but now we need to make some changes to the bottom part of the car. By the way, let's call this bottom, that one exterior, interior. Actually, this is gonna be the interior. This is gonna be the frame. Interior, frame. Okay, now I will select these 2 objects, solo them, select this one. Let me enable symmetry hub because I want to select these polygons. I will hide this for a few seconds. Let's use font break selection tool. Select these polygons, hit T and scale them on the X. Okay, then I'm gonna unhide that one. Now I will hit NNG and select these edges and move them up to make space for the tires, to make room for these tires. Okay, nothing is overlapping. Now this part, but obviously we need to duplicate that tire. Instead of holding control and dragging this off, I will just use an instance. Select the tire, click on instance, and I will put this one under my subd group and move it somewhere here. Then select the bottom edge mode. If you can't see anything, you can hit N and G. Let's move them around to make enough room for the tire. By the way, I am not gonna model the pilot because I have this model already. I did this in one of my older tutorials. You can find this one on my channel. I believe it was called plane modeling or something like that, but I'm sure it's on my channel. So I'm gonna copy this one, Control C, and I will hit Control V. Need to rotate this, hold down Shift, and let's see where this is supposed to be. Yeah, here. Okay, let's drop this one into our subd group. Let's call this subd car. And the other thing, yeah, these tires. I need to duplicate this on the other side. So I'm gonna hold down Control. Then I will hold down Shift. Then another one. Let's enable snap. Well, I think it is not working because this is an instance object. I don't know. But this is going to be more than enough. Obviously, we need to make something on these polygons. So I will select these. But right now, the symmetry hub is turned on. I will turn this off. And I will make an inset actually twice. Then move these in. And that's going to be it. I assume that we are not going to see the inside of these tires. So I can leave them like that. Now let's create some materials so that we can see the surface of the mesh better. So I will put this material on the X, then I'm gonna make these red, no roughness, something like 0.01 or something like that. That is a very effective way to detect imperfections on the surface. So I'm gonna orbit around my car. Yeah, this is looking great. The only problem, and I don't know if it's coming true, but there is a little bit bulging over here. So I'm gonna hit an NQ to get rid of that material. And I'm gonna turn this sub D off, turn the solo off with NNB. Yeah, I think it's happening because of these edges. And I will just basically move these down. And actually, let me show you this way. I will basically go to the right view. Yeah, this is again great way to detect this kind of imperfections. Like it is obvious that these edges are slightly up. So I will bring this down and go into polygon mode again. Yeah, now the flow is much better. Nice curve. Same here. I'm gonna hit Q and then Q and then A. Yeah, nice. Let's make another material. This time I will make this one black. And this time I want 0.3 for the roughness, maybe 0.4. Then I'm gonna assign this to do, which one was that? Yeah, the bottom. Yeah, not that bad. Then I could also put this one on the interior frame and to the interior. Then for the tire, let's make it a little bit darker. Full black. And let's set this to zero point 0.6. I'm gonna put this one on the, oops, sorry, on the cylinder. Then I will make another one. And this one is gonna be a metallic. So let's set this to white and increase up the metalness all the way up. The roughness is too much, so I will set this to something like 0.01 again. Not the pilot. I'm gonna call this disc tire. And just to make it a little bit more interesting, I will create a white material. Let's set this to white. And I will select the tire, make a loop selection, and assign that material on that selection so that it's gonna look like this car is from the 50s, the fashion of that time. Maybe this is too reflective. Let's set this to 0.03. Yeah. What about the pilots? Well, I can use these. Why not? For the helmets. Mm, actually, I will make the guy darker. Put this one on the helmet. And we can go even further and, we can make some polygon selections, grow it up, and assign that material. Actually, this is something that I don't like, to be honest, assigning materials on the selections, because if you want to export this scene to say Maya, this may create a problem, this kind of selections. So I think the best and proper way is to split these polygons out whenever you want to assign materials. But if you're gonna only work in Cinema 4D, you can use this technique. Anyway, I think we are coming to an end. Before ending the tutorial, I'm gonna hit NNB. Something is not right here. I don't know what happened, but let me solo that mesh. Yeah, something happened over here. I don't know what happened. Let's fix that up. It's gonna be quite easy. I will use the symmetry object, hold down Alt, add this one in. I will enable remove outside so that the right side will override the left side. Yeah, as you can see, that fixed the problem. I'm gonna enable weld on and make the symmetry editable. Nice. Also, the other thing I want to do is these edges. These loops are squishing things up here. If I enable sub D, as you can see, this part is too tight. So I'm gonna select these two objects by holding shift, and I will go into edge mode. I'm gonna hit energy. Actually, let's go to the right view. I'm gonna select all of them and move them on the z-axis to loosen it up a little bit. And you are gonna see what I am talking about. If I enable sub D, yeah, now that looks much better. Interesting. I don't know what happened here. Yeah, I know actually. I accidentally put that bottom under the tire group, and since we have instances, I need to put this out. Yes. Now I will select this back, and this time I'm gonna slide these. Then let's do the same here. Now let me check the normals of the objects. This is quite important, and this is something that I usually forget. So let's select. Actually, let's turn this off. It's gonna make it easier to see. Yeah, this guy is looking fine. Now let's check the tires. I'm gonna hit S. This one is fine. This one is fine. Then the X, Control A. Okay. The bottom is also fine. And this one is looking okay. Okay, the normals are perfect. I can group this over here. The next thing I want to do is scale that car down because right now it is huge. Remember, this is supposed to be a toy car. So as a reference, I will add in a disk. And yeah, I will basically scale it down to, let's say, 15 centimeters. Then I'm gonna grab my car subdivision and scale it down until it fits that cube. Yeah, something like that. Then we can delete that cube. Just to make it a little bit easier to move this car around, I'm gonna select the subdivision service and enable access mode and to move that down to 0. We can do that manually. Like, we can come over here. I will set this to world, type in 0, and that should do it. Now let's exit access mode. Okay, before wrapping up this tutorial, I want to even out these edges because I usually try to keep my mesh as uniform as possible. So we can solo this, then enable symmetry hub so that I will not have to do that twice. And we can select these edges, select the first one, then hold down Ctrl and Shift and select the last edge. Then I can select these. And right click, equal spacing tool. It is something subtle, but as I said, I like to keep these as even as possible. We are running short on time, so I'm gonna skip that step, but you can take your time and play around with these points. But for now, this is looking quite nice. Okay, thank you very much if you are still here. I hope I was able to give you something in this one, and I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I will see you in the next tutorials. Bye.